All right, what's going on? Today's Tuesday, March 21st, and I lost $250 today on my evaluation account, and I want to break down how all of that happened today real quick. I wanted to start off with kind of explaining how I went into the day, my levels, what I was thinking about, my plans, and then hopefully that can put into context some of my trades. One of my primary plans today was to actually play the gap fill this morning since we had opened up above yesterday's close. So here's yesterday's close, and we actually opened up pretty high above that. So what I'm expecting to play here is the fill to the top of yesterday's high of day, and I was planning on playing this if the conditions called for it. So that was really my large plan. If things went really well, that really would have been all I had done today. And so kind of a lot of my plans and everything had really been set on being able to do the gap fill and the gap fill reversal. So I wanted to talk about a couple of trades, and the gap fill would have been to 39.89 and then any sort of reversal afterwards. In general, I was still bullish for the day, but I was hoping that there'd be more clean fundamental gap close and then a return to bullishness. But tomorrow is FOMC, and that should be a big mover. I think there's going to be a lot of chop today just because people are really uncertain about FOMC and how things were going to go. So that kind of stuck with me, and then also the fact that I've kind of been in a fog mentally lately, and I don't know what I need to change, but I need to change something. Maybe I need to take a break. But hopefully I can figure something out because I have not been trading well. So I took 6 trades today, way more than I should have. Again, not in a great place. The first one was right at the open. Well, actually about 10 minutes after the open. We had a huge run up right at the open, and we stopped right about 40.27. And we had a pretty hard stop. So I actually was looking at this as a pretty decent entry level because it had ran up, and then we ran into some resistance with sellers. So I went short here, and I was targeting the low of day, or yesterday's high of day, excuse me, for the gap close. So I sat through a lot of this. At one point, I was doing okay here, but ended up moving back in. One thing that I did was I had an extremely risky stop. I noticed on Bookmap that there were a lot of sellers that were sitting at 40.30, and I had set my stop loss to right here at 40.30.50, and it was extremely aggressive. What ended up happening was we had like a fake high of day grab, and they grabbed the liquidity, they grabbed the stops, mine included, and then they just went for the move that I was actually looking for. So what ended up happening was came up here, I got stopped out, it started to move in my direction, and I started to see things happen. So then I started to chase that move. So I got in immediately short afterwards. So if you can see the blue arrow there, that's where I stopped out. As we moved down here, this pink arrow is where I got short. And then I took a quick scalp right here. I was starting to see a little bit of things slow down. So I really just took what, 1, 2... a 4 ticks here, just to kind of recover some money after that stop out. And then the next one, as you can see, I got short again scalping, just trying to like get in and out real quick, not sure what's happening. This was a 1 tick move right here. I think I probably lost more money on commissions, maybe not, made about $25 here. And then this was the trade where I started to make things back. So I got short again as we kept moving down. I got short at 40.15 and then got out at 4,009.75 or 50. So this was a decent move to kind of like get me back in the green. And this brought me back from that original big loss. This brought me back to $25 in the green. And so at this point, I was just happy to be back in the green. And I didn't trade for a while because, again, I wasn't seeing too much. And I want to pull this up. It might be easier to see. I had 2 more trades after this, after those first 4. This was, I believe, low of day at 4,003, and I kind of want to show you what happened around here. It's around 4,003. This kind of felt like low of day. We had a couple of these longer wicks. We had a test on the overnight high previously. A lot of selling pressure off of that level. 4,003. There was still a lot of buying pressure here. It was a little slow, but there was just, it kind of felt stagnant down here, and there was no additional movement down. So I think I waited. I entered, I believe, around this point here, maybe this third candlestick around 12:15. I'll get my exact entry real quick. The fourth candle. Entered on the fourth candle, and I was playing long, targeting the that previous overnight high level, which let's get the exact number. I got in on this candle, and I was targeting really 40.20, and I thought I had a decent entry. I was waiting till buying pressure started. I bought prior to testing VWAP here, and we were doing okay. Let me zoom in a little bit more. We were doing okay, and even in this pullback here, I was still feeling pretty confident. But then right here, this is where I got stopped out. I got stopped out right at the bottom of this. My stop had been set to 4,008.50. Yeah, 4,008.50. This wick, I thought I was safe. In hindsight, obviously I wasn't. This wick was the liquidity grab, which got my stop, and then again it took off in that direction. I felt pretty good about it. My entry, in hindsight, I think my entry was fine. I think I should have given my stop a little bit more room. I mean, even I got stopped out by one tick, maybe. So had I just, gone to 4,008.25, I would have been fine. A one tick difference between stopping out and basically holding the rest of the day, because this was the liquidity grab, rejected off of here, and then we ran up the rest of the afternoon. So in hindsight, I was pretty disappointed about this, which kind of led into my last trade. So getting stopped out led into my last trade, which was another entry here. At this point, this trade, I believe, was actually fine. My entry here, and I thought my stop was fine here. Obviously, in hindsight, not the case. This last trade was where things went pretty bad. I had lost everything that I had made back from this morning, and I got in. Again, I think getting in was fine. It was where my stop was. So I got in at 40.14, and I ended up getting stopped out at 40.11.50. I don't know what I was thinking. It looks as if I didn't, I got in because I have a 10 tick stop loss here, and it looks like I got into my long position and didn't actually move my stop loss, because usually I move it to a more decent place and I give myself at least 3, 4, 5 points. On this one, I only gave myself about 2.5 points. So, in hindsight, what I could have done is, even on this entry, if I really felt conviction about my trade, I probably could have gone all the way down here. That would have been a pretty steep stop loss for sure, pretty risky stop loss. Hindsight's 20/20. So, again, it ran up the rest of the day afterwards. So, what are you going to do about it? At the end of the day, feeling not great. I need to work on, I think, mentally get things together outside of the markets, figure out what's going on, and really just get my shit together. So that's really all I have for you today. Peace.